There's been so much talk in the MMA community over the past week and a half about the GOAT list, the top 10 of the sport. Now, personally, no one's ever going to come to an agreement on this. I've been watching loads of different people's opinions and takes, and I'm just sat there like, first of all, Lucas Tracy's GOAT list was fucking awful. He had Armin Sarukian in the top 5 or something like that, and I was just sat there like, are you fucking joking me? He split decisioned Oliveira and has been chinned a few times and lost to Gamrot, like, not even got a belt. Like, what are you on about, you retard? But moving on from that, guys, I think my list is good. Now, of course, no one's going to agree. People are going to say, oh, you need to put this person higher, or how is this person above this person? You're never going to come to an agreement. There's so many people with certain things and certain asterisks on the careers, and you just have to look at the main things of, like, if you were to take a few wins off of someone's resume, would they be in the position they're in? So that's kind of what I've gone off of. But also, it's also personal preference in some of the cases. I'm gonna read you out my list, right? We're gonna go from 1 to 10, right? So one obviously being the GOAT of the sport, and 10 being like, and also some of these guys' careers aren't finished yet. That I just want to say, folks, I do not have Jose Aldo in the top 10. Just because of how his career ended. And there's one person I have in here whose career ended awfully. However, you have to give them credit for the performances they were putting on. But also, I don't want them in there. And this, I'll explain. And I have got a few different options for certain positions that you guys can tell me in the comments. I just couldn't decide. I truly just couldn't decide, right? So we're going to break this down. My GOAT of MMA. This is my UFC GOAT list. We've got everyone on this list is in the UFC. I'm not doing an MMA GOAT list. This is UFC GOATs. As much as I hate this man more than anything, I hate him with a passion. As much as I think he's a complete drug cheat, and I didn't want to include him in this list, but you kind of have to, just accolades wise, like not even performance wise. It's just winning. Like it truly just I have to just bite the bullet and say John Jones is number one. He's the GOAT of the sport. I was wanting to put GSP, but Jones is still around. He still was around. There's so many asterisks on the man's career. Like, believe me, it really, really pains me to say. If you're including people that have popped for drugs, like PEDs, more than 2-3 times, he's not on this list. People that are ducking opponents, he's not on this list. He's not my GOAT. GSP is my GOAT, but I think being fair and being honest, if I remove myself from the situation, John Jones, accolades wise, everything wise, he's number one. Number two is George St. Pierre. 100%. Number two is George St. Pierre. Now, we don't have to really talk about these. This is where it gets interesting. I'm gonna get slated for this. Number 3, and you guys know my opinions on the Dagestanis and stuff, but his career isn't finished. And if his career goes how it potentially could go, he is top 3 of all time. He's in the GOAT conversation. Now, everybody in the top 5, no, everybody in the top, I'm going to say 3 or 4 of this list is in the GOAT conversation, or could be. Islam Makhachev is my number 3. If he moves up and wins a welterweight belt, he's top 3 of all time in the sport. Yes, he's struggled with people that have had full training camps against him. He's had a lot of short notice fights where people have stepped on short notice who he's beat. Yes, he fought Volk. He beat Volk in his prime, though. You can't ignore that. His career is also not over, which makes the list actually very difficult. I think realistically the GOAT list should be on people that have retired. I think that would be a much more sensible way of doing things, because then you're not going to be arguing, oh, but this person beat this person, Because it's like, if you go off of like Jose Aldo, he lost loads of fights at the end of his career, but he had a fucking historic run early in his career. So it's like, you can't have him as the GOAT because of how horrendous he looked at the end, but you also can't not have him in the conversation because of how good he used to be. So ideally it would be when everyone retires, because Makhachev could go on a fucking 5-fight skid. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't really navigate it the correct way. I've got Islam Makhachev, folks, as number 3 GOAT in the sport, or potential to be the GOAT in the top 3. If he goes and beats JDM, which is a fucking impressive win, then defends against an Usman coming off a Bilal win, that would be insane legacy. And I do have Kamaru Usman in my top 10 GOAT to the sport, just because if he goes and wins his belt back, he's welterweight GOAT by far. Yes, he fought Masvidal twice for no fucking reason. and you know he had very weird matchmaking during his career just because of the star Masvidal was. I don't know. There's a lot of asterisks, and that's why you can't really. I don't believe in a fucking list. I just think you should have one GOAT in your opinion. Like I don't think there should be a fucking list. You can't make a list. A lot of these people are on par. Like John Jones to me is not the fucking GOAT of the sport because he's a cheating cunt. But you have to just because the general perspective is well, yeah, him and GSP are top two. Islam Makhachev to me is number three. I just think he's got so much potential to be like a very dominant force, like a GOAT. Like we've never really seen him in any huge trouble. He has been chinned in the UFC, but I mean the tear he's on now is undeniable, and he's moving up a weight division. If he gets a second belt, yeah, undoubtedly he's probably top three. Like just how he is. Like I mean we all know how dominant Islam Makhachev is, and you know, if he retires without going on a skid, you kind of have to have him in the top five. Because the thing is, people go on about some of these guys, and I'm like, well, he lost a lot at the end of his career, and you have to take that into consideration. People are like, I was speaking to somebody at work today about it, and he was like, oh no, but you have to have Jose Aldo in your top three. And I was like, no, because Aldo, yes, had a belt for a long time, for 10 years, but he also only fought 7 times in the 10 years. He got chinned by McGregor, lost to Holloway twice while he was still fighting as a GOAT of the sport, went down to bantamweight, got KO'd by Peter Yan as well, got dominated by Merab, you know, lost to Adrian Yanez. Like it's just like not Adrian Yanez, I'm so sorry folks, that's the fucking boy that looks like Ariel Helwani in his most recent fight, retired again, went to box. Like fuck man, you can't have Aldo as a GOAT of the sport. He was a phenomenal, one of the best featherweight champions of that time. But remember, guys, there's only been 5 featherweight champions, you know, and that's including Topuria, Volk, McGregor. Like these are the fucking huge names we have. Like Jose Aldo, Max Holloway. Those are the featherweight champions we've had. They're fucking insane. To be a featherweight champ's an honor, and I can't have Aldo in my top 3, sorry folks. But yeah, I've got Islam Makhachev just because I know he can become a GOAT. And I think a lot of the Muslim fan base will like fucking love me for saying that. And a lot of them are saying Islam number 1. And I'm like, mate, like the boy's got no accolades. He's never moved up a division. Like, fuck off. Number 4, Demetrius Johnson. 11 title defenses at flyweight. You know, obviously he lost to Cejudo, which was a robbery. He did win that fight. I do have Cejudo on my list, but I'll get to that in a wee minute. Obviously moved up to bantamweight in another division, like retired when he should have, didn't go on a fucking crazy losing streak, was KO'd once in his career towards the end. He's a fucking bot. 11 title defense, guys. There we go. 11 title defenses in the flyweight division. I don't have Pantoja as a GOAT of the sport. Basically, I don't think flyweight has moved on skill-wise very much. I think they've always been fantastic fighters because it's such a shallow division. I think Demetrius Johnson was just better, you know, and he had some really awesome moments. He wasn't given the recognition he deserves. 11 title defenses plus the wins before that within the UFC banner. That's fucking amazing, especially at a lighter division. And obviously, he left the UFC when he left the UFC very early, but he could have defended it more, and that's the truth. Like I believe he beat Cejudo in that robbery loss he has, and he left the UFC in obviously trading for Ben Askren. God help him, by the way, he's going through a tough time. I've got Demetrius Johnson at 4. You need to have Demetrius Johnson in the top 5. He was a fucking staple of MMA. He defended the belt 11 times. He was champion for ages. He was very active. Phenomenal fighter as well. Like you have to have him in the top 5. Now number 5 is gonna piss people off. I've got Volkanovski as number 5, GOAT of the sport. Beats Max Holloway 3 times in his prime. Once is for the belt. Beats Jose Aldo, who you want me to have in the top 3, a lot of the fans. Beats Chad Mendes, who anyone saying McGregor's in the top 10, that's who McGregor beat, you know. Mendes, Aldo, Brian Ortega, Yair Rodriguez. Like, there's fucking almost beats Islam Makhachev, and a lot of people realize he did beat Islam Makhachev. You know, he beats Yair, beats Max 3 times, gets KO'd by Topuria, gets KO'd by Islam, comes back and wins the belt against a hungry Diego Lopez. He's a top 5 fighter. He's in the top 10 for sure. I've got him 5, and He's back. He's still active. He's still the champ. His career's not over yet. If he goes out there and beats a Mozvar Evloev, and then maybe a rematch with Yair, if Yair gets another, the UFC do what the UFC do. He's a GOAT, and he's probably the featherweight GOAT after that. Realistically, despite being KO'd, we still have GSP's number 2, and he was KO'd by Serra, but then come back and avenge the win. And to be honest, I'm not too bothered with the Topuria loss because it was on short notice after being KO'd. Like, he got KO'd badly in the fucking end of October, the November, then came back and fought in February, got straight back into camp after being flattened. So it's a tough one. But I've got Volkanovski. That's my top 5. I've got 5 more to give you, but I've got Jones, GSP, Islam, Demetrius Johnson, then Alexander Volkanovski. Recency bias will play a factor, and a few of their 2 of their careers aren't finished yet. So that makes it obviously difficult. And obviously GSP went up and got a second belt. Jones had 2 belts. Islam's trying to get 2 belts. Demetrius Johnson had 11 title defenses, and Volk has obviously just remained dominant at the age of like 36, 37, however old he is. Number 6, I don't agree with this one. I think this one is crap, but it's Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva fought people that were crap at fighting. His best wins are fucking Chael Sonnen at 205. Now, that's not a fucking good win to have. Chael Sonnen should be number 1. Look, I've got him in there just because of the streak he went on. He was champion. He was a fucking phenomenal. He's the best. He's the GOAT of middleweight, 100%. He's got that many UFC wins, but the competition, guys, I think a Nassourdine Imavov destroys Anderson Silva. I think Renan Barão, or sorry, not Renan Barão, fucking a Paulo Costa beats Anderson Silva. Izzy did beat Anderson Silva, yes, towards the end of his career. I think Anderson Silva probably beats a Sean Strickland in his prime. Dricus du Plessis beats Anderson Silva. It's just a better Chael Sonnen. I've got him 6 because of the tear he went on, but I don't really hold him up to any fucking level of the guys we have now. Kind of similar situation, with DJ. But DJ could get wins at flyweight still, but maybe he wouldn't have the power now to do it because a lot of the guys are a bit better. That's it. Yeah, 6. That's all I have to say about Anderson. I mean, fucking hell. Imagine if they announced in their primes Anderson Silva versus Nassourdine Imavov. I'd be like, right, Silva gets KO'd. The people Silva fought in his day did not move the way the middleweights move now. They also know how to punch properly. The middleweights Silva fought couldn't punch. Anderson Silva was chinned by Chris fucking Weidman. Let's just let that fucking sink in. Chris Weidman became champion beating Anderson Silva. I don't want Anderson Silva in the top 10, but really deep in my core, I'm like, you can't not fucking include him, unfortunately. Like, it is what it is. Number 7, I've got 2 people at number 7. Now, this is where I've got, so for 7, 8, and 9, I've got 2 people in there. And you guys, as fans, get to choose who goes in there. You can leave a comment down below and let me know. Number 7, I've got Topuria and Merab. I think it's Merab, but this is the range where I've got Topuria right now in terms of like some of the greatest fighters of all time. Now, if you take the Oliveira win away from Topuria, he's not even in this fucking conversation. He's got 2 belts, though emphatic ways he's finishing fights is fantastic. Merab is kind of in the same boat. He's winning, doesn't have 2 belts, but he's doing it emphatically. They're around the 7 range. 7, I think, is fair enough. For the moment, I would love to include a Dricus du Plessis. I think he's probably one of the GOATs at the moment, but don't give him enough credit. He's not even on my list. He's kind of tied number 10. I've got Topuria or Merab. You guys fucking give me your opinions on that. I mean, I don't think Topuria is I think it's Merab. I just think Topuria is not done enough yet. At all. Give me your thoughts. I mean, this is all my opinion. Like, I don't even agree with some of it because I'm just like trying to bite the bullet here. Moving on to number 8, I've got Kamaru Usman / Max Holloway. People are going to be like, you can't have Holloway over fucking this and that. I'm like, Holloway's a fucking beast. He's given us some of the fucking greatest fights in history. Flattened Justin Gaethje. 13 fight win streak within the UFC, folks. 12 fight win streak at featherweight. Obviously lost to Poirier twice and lost to Volk twice. So that's fucking, you can't have him any higher than 8 all time. destroyed every significant strike record, was a champion, defended the belt against the featherweight GOAT at the time twice, arguably beat Volkanovski in their rematch type shit. Like, that's how it goes. I think he's on par with a Kamaru Usman. I think Holloway and Usman are very on par legacy-wise, and you're going to be like, oh my god, you can't say that. Usman fought Masvidal fucking twice for no reason. Then he fought Covington again, no reason. Got flattened by Edwards. He's come back and beat Buckley. If Usman beats fucking Islam Makhachev for the belt, or a fucking Bilal to fight for the belt, he's around 7 or 8. I don't care what you say. Number 9, Daniel Cormier and Henry Cejudo I have about in this region. You've probably got number 9, Henry Cejudo, 2-weight world champion, is on a fucking losing streak right now. Probably doesn't deserve to be on par with Daniel Cormier, but Daniel Cormier did lose twice to John Jones. Now, that's about kind of what I'm thinking. Daniel Cormier also lost twice to Steve. You know, there's a few asterisks on having him at number 9. Who else do you put there, though? People are going to be like, oh, what about this person? What about Arman Saruki? And it's like, Arman's done fuck all, man. What the fuck are you talking about, you little cunt? Number 10, Israel Adesanya. Never got 2 belts, but was supremely dominant. And has just been chinned a few times. But he's up there. He's high. Probably 10 of all. Probably the 10th best fighter the UFC's seen. I can understand that. Not the best anymore, but for a long time, is he the middleweight GOAT? I think Izzy and Dricus du Plessis are probably the 10th greatest of all time. In UFC, if you're sitting back and looking at UFC history, it's a very young sport. If I'm sitting back, I'm thinking, Dricus du Plessis is beating Whittaker, beating Izzy, and if he beats Chimaev, he could be a middleweight GOAT. And he's finished all of them, apart from Strickland. Izzy lost to Strickland. Dricus dominated him twice. Izzy got KO'd. Or Izzy barely beat Whittaker, sorry. Du Plessis does it in a minute. You know, yeah, I think du Plessis is highly underrated and he will be a GOAT of the sport one day. But that's my 10, folks. I think that's fair. Number 7, Topuria/Merab. I really don't like the Topuria thing. People saying, oh, Topuria's top 5 GOATs of all time. If Topuria didn't beat the name value that he did, he wouldn't be in the conversation. But I understand how the sport works. I understand where you guys are coming from. Any GOAT list I've seen online that I've thought, fuck, that's a good list, thousands of comments hating on it. So you can say what you want about my list, folks. Say what you want. I don't mind. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to comment and like down below. That's my opinion. I think that's a decent enough. Fuck, I could do a top 50. A top 50, it'd be a lot easier because you can kind of put people that are on par, just one or above or each other. I just thought I'd give you a quick top 10 list as the conversation's been brewing. Thank you very much.